is Joy News Prime.
Don't forget, this is your election headquarters, and that is featured in your 2 hours of compelling news bulletin on Joy News. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Coming up, General Secretary of NDC accuses MPP members of creating microfinance scam to create dissatisfaction for the government, but MP from Kranza North disputes his assertion. No, a minority MPP in Parliament accused government of supervising food and agriculture sector dependent on imports. Also, Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly fails for the 9th time to elect a presiding member despite assurances from members.
Ahead in business, Minister of Trade and Industry Dr. Ekos Pilgabra emphasizes need for African economies to take advantage of e-commerce platforms to promote intra-regional trade.
Also coming up in the bulletin, employees of the Ghana Gas Company who were dismissed for embarking on illegal demonstration get a second chance. Details of all of these plus sports, entertainment, Joy News Interactive and international news coming up shortly on this bulletin. We're also available on the ABN television across Europe, DSTV and GoTV. Please stay. Let's begin with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly that was unable to elect a presiding member Tuesday following the 2 aspirants' inability to garner the required votes needed to take up the position. Joy News gathers none of the aspirants could garner 2/3 of 98 votes of the House to be elected. Wedi Abraham polled 69 votes, while Eduse Bonsu Michael garnered 50 votes. Members of the KMA expressed confidence ahead of Tuesday's meeting to elect a presiding member after several failed attempts. Last week, 65 Assembly members voted no against the unopposed candidate, making it impossible for him to occupy that position. The Ashanti Regional Minister John Alexander Akon, who also doubles as the acting chief executive officer of KMA, described the development as unexpected in an interview with Joy News.
Very unfortunately and contrary to expectation, we could still not get a presiding member. I had been told that enough consultations had been done, and most of them assured me that today we are going to get a presiding member. And I think that when we came, that was the indication. And when the question was posed by the secretary, the coordinating director, whether we are here to get a presiding member, they all said yes. Unfortunately, the goalpost hasn't shifted so much as to give us a presiding member. And it was quite unexpected, having gone through the various stages. And here we are, adjourned to another time, but now indefinitely.
Meanwhile, one of the contestants, Abraham Bwedi, says it is unfair for him to step aside following calls that both himself and Michael Edu step aside for Fresh Limbs contest. He spoke to Love FM's Erastus Asari Donko.
I think that one is unfair.
Why is it unfair?
It's unfair.
For the interest of Kumasi, I think...
I don't have problem. I love Kumasi. I need Kumasi to be developed. But I did not contest because I want to be a presiding member. It is a team that lead me, that appointed me to lead them. So if anything, you have to allow me to go and meet my teammates. Then we decide...
What is your team saying?
We've not met. I think
you've met in consultation for a whole hour.
No, that one is from the regional minister and the MP for Oforikrom. But I have not met my people.
Their proposal is that the two of you have factions. So you step aside, let fresh people come, and we have a presiding member.
I am saying I'm a team player. If my people say, Opoma, lead us to victory, I am more serious to do that. Even if they say, Opo, play from the bench, I am more dangerous to do that.
We'll be bringing you some updates on the KMA elections when we get Erastus Asare Dogo. But for now, let's see what's up on election headquarters. And over 70% of elected assembly members in the 16 districts of the Greater Accra region have endorsed the New Patriotic Party flag bearer. Speaking at a news conference in Accra Tuesday morning, the group says it reached its decision after considering Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's one district, one factory policy. The group further explained that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's $1 million per constituency policy is also achievable.
The assembly members are supposed to be a symbol of the hopes, challenges and aims of the Ghanaian, including the marginalized and the vulnerable in the society. Local level participation in decision and implementation of programs should ensure all Ghanaians share in the benefits. The assembly members share the vision of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo of the one district, one factory policy. According to this act, according to the Act 462, Section 10, functions of the district assembly. 1. Subject to Act 462, the district assembly exercise political and administrative authority in the district, provide guidelines, give directions to, and supervise all other administrative authorities in the district. Therefore, we, the Honorable Assembly members, are agents of development in our various electoral areas. We believe this vision of one district, one factory will reduce the rate of unemployment in the various districts in Ghana, thereby improving the economic activities of our respective electoral areas. Secondly, we also strongly support the vision of the Vice President candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, allocation of $1 million to each constituency per year. This fund, when brought into fruition, will develop the various electoral areas which are headed by the respective assembly members.
According to the secretary of the group, Alfred Ejay, 7 years under the Mahama-led administration has crippled the economy and saddled it with a huge debt stock. The group also alleged that the NDC government has enriched itself and its cronies under the guise of undertaking infrastructure projects to the detriment of the vulnerable in society. It therefore called on all Ghanaians to vote massively for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the New Patriotic Party in this year's polls to bring about a positive change in the political history of Ghana.
Ghana is in the bad state, and in every area of our national life, we are going backwards. The NDC Mahama government has nothing to campaign on. The question we need to ask ourselves is, what is the campaign message of NDC? They have borrowed as if there will be no tomorrow and have mortgaged our future. Ghanaians, especially the youth, need to have hope again. Together, we will bring that change to Ghana. Together, we will bring Ghana back to the path of development and prosperity. Yes. We, the over 70% of assembly members in Greater Accra, charge each and every one to come together and bring a massive change in the political history of our dear nation, Ghana. This is the time. Let every son and daughter of Mother Ghana join hands and let's arise for change. We call on each and every Ghanaian, including the teachers, the nurses, the unemployed, the working class, the vulnerable, the youth, and the aged to support the endorsement of and vote massively for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the New Patriotic Party in the December 7, 2016 presidential election to be elected the President of the Republic of Ghana.
We can now speak to my colleague Latif Idris, who's following the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Akufo-Addo, who is currently campaigning in the Ablekuma West constituency. Hello, Latif. What can you tell us about this campaign trail?
Yeah, Nana Addo today and the MPP, for that matter, have spent the entire day in the Ablekuma West constituency. Now, ordinarily, throughout this campaign trail, what the party does is that they spend a day in about 2 or 3 constituencies. But this time around, the entire day has been dedicated to this particular constituency. Reason being that if you come to Ablekuma West, there is a rift between the incumbent member of parliament, Asla Owusu, and the former constituency chairman of the party in this constituency, that is Theophilus Tete. If you remember, somewhere last year when the party was holding the primary, there was this confusion between the two. So Theophilus broke away from the MPP, and today he's also filed to stand as an independent candidate. Reason why the MPP have spent the entire day here trying to bring on board all the parties going forward in order for them to vote massively for the new patriotic party.
So
now,
what has the NPP flag bearer been telling them?
Yeah, Nana Akufo-Addo has been going over what he's been telling constituents across the country. The fact that President Mohamed continues to stay in office is a threat to the national security, and the fact that he has failed to improve upon the economy, he has failed to create jobs, he is not done well when it comes to the National Health Insurance Scheme, and so many other issues. Nana Addo thinks that he is the best man to lead this country to restore hope and put the economy back on track. Nana Addo has also been responding to some comments made by the Vice President, Mr. Atta, in the Ashanti region. You remember the Vice President mentioned that he's heard that the MPP are planning to rig the December 7th election. Now, Nana Addo has laughed over it and said that it is now clear to the NDC that they are going to lose the December 7th presidential election, reason why they are coming up with all these excuses, and that the Vice President should save his word and speak on issues instead of coming out with these allegations he cannot substantiate. Aisha.
And what has been the response so far?
So far, we've been on the trail since morning. I do not know if this has gotten to the NDC and what their response is going to be. I'm sure in the coming hours or tomorrow, we're going to get some information on this development from the camp of the NDC as far as this allegation by the Vice President on rigging the outcome of the election is concerned. As I speak to you now, it is not over. We are still in Dansuman, where Nana Addo is now in a meeting with some elders of this community. From there, he is going to address yet another rally. Then we move to the last rally for the day before the team goes back to prepare for tomorrow, where the campaign trail will hit yet again another constituency. Two constituencies actually come tomorrow, Aisha.
Latif, we're hearing that residents are actually chanting that they would not vote for the incumbent MP, Asla Owusu.
Yeah,
can you confirm this?
Certainly, Aisha. We have lots of NPP faithful who are following Nana Akufo-Addo from wherever he's been from morning. But one thing that is also running through is the fact that they are not, most of the people I've spoken to said they are not going to vote for the incumbent MP, that is Asla Owusu, because she's not done well for this constituency. They say she's not been visiting them. Whenever they send their issues to her, she is not taking it on board to help resolve issues that are pertinent to them. Reason why they said after toiling for and then voting for her massively last elections, this time round, they are going to do what is called skirt and blouse, which is they are going to vote for another, all right, but they wouldn't cast their ballot for Asla Owusu. That is the sentiment being shared by most of the electorate here in Ablekuma West. So the seat for the NPP is now, at stake, because if you come into this constituency, we know that the former constituency chair is going independent. Now, the vote for the MPP is not going to be split. So it could pave the way for the NDC parliamentary candidate for this constituency, Madam Diana Chum, who is, I'm sure will be laughing today.
some of these issues. Well, many thanks to Latif Idris for the update. Now, some residents of the Ablekuma West constituency in the Greater Accra region are crying for better road network and drainage system. According to residents who spoke to Joy News, they believe their member of parliament could have done more if her party was in government. Now, this constituency promises to present a keen contest between the MPP's Esla Owusu Ekufo and the NDC's Dinah Chum, following the decision of the NPP's constituency chairman to contest the seat as an independent candidate. Joy News' Joseph Akable spent some time in that constituency, finding out more in the following report.
One of the 45 constituencies created prior to the 2012 general elections, the Ablekuma West constituency, carved out of the Ablekuma South constituency. Just before we look at the candidates who will be contesting in this constituency for this year, let's talk a bit about how it has been in terms of the political parties and their candidates and who has emerged victorious since 1992. For the 1992 elections, Kweno Metal of the NDC emerged victorious. The constituency then was the Ablekuma South. It remained as the Ablekuma South, but in 1996, Theresa Tego of the MPP emerged victorious. She held on to the seat until 2008, when the MPP changed its parliamentary candidate. Francis Kojo Smith contested against the NDC's Fritz Bafo, with Fritz Bafo emerging victorious. Now in 2012, when Ablekuma South constituency was separated, so that we have Ablekuma West and Ablekuma South. For the Ablekuma West constituency, Esla Owusu Ekufo emerged victorious, beating the NDC's Victoria Hammer by some 1,082 votes. Now for this year's polls, even though the MPP holds on to the seat, the dynamic will be a bit different. And it all has to do with the fact that a member of the MPP has abandoned the party and is contesting as an independent candidate. I'm talking about Theophilus Tete, who was a constituency chairman of the party. Now he'll be contesting as an independent candidate. Also for the MPP, Esla Owusu Ekufo, the incumbent, will be contesting again. Whilst for the NDC, Dinah Chum will be the party's candidate. It will be a keenly contested race. Your election headquarters is here to speak to the electorates, to find out from them how the past 4 years has been, any challenges, and what the success story has been. We also seek to find out from them what the key factors will be in their choice of a candidate for this year's polls. Let's take a walk around town and let's talk to some electorates.
Oh, it's not bad. Anyway, she's doing what she can, because it's not her party which is in power. So even other things that we need, if she goes to the parliament and asks, oh, we need this, she wouldn't get it, because here is not an, let's say, a strong NDC area. So they might decide not to give her or not. So she has done what she can, but I think that she has to step up more. But let's give her another chance and let's see what will happen.
I think it's okay, but not quite impressive, but it's fine. So, you know, we had issues with light, and in this constituency we have issues with water, with our roads, you know, and then we expect all these needs to be met. So once they've not been met, I think we just hope for the best. I've always voted for one person, and that's how it's going to be. So I don't think it's going to change. The trend will change. But what I know is MPs and what they do, you know, their work is basically about making the laws work. That is what I think they do. So we'll just give her the nod for her to go represent us and then do things on our behalf.
Things are not going well because a party is not in power. I am a taxi driver. I cannot pay insurance. Getting a license is tough. On development issues, even though she's not achieving much, it's because her party is not in power. My vote will be influenced by the truthful nature of the candidates, one who is fair to all and can fix our road challenges, one who is honest and bold enough to use funds for the intended purpose.
nti bɛ sɛ nipa na ɔbɛba no ɔmfa kokodu no ɔmfa no kura nya misro fa nya adwuma ɛmfa ka nyina mom na sika bɛma no bia fa adwuma ɛsɛnyɛ fa.
So you've heard from some electorates. We first told you a bit more about the constituency. You have heard them share some challenges facing the constituency as well as the successes chalked over the years. This is your election headquarters, Joseph Akable, Ablekuma West constituency.
Don't forget it's 63 days to election, and this is your election headquarters. Trust us, we'll bring you all you need to know about this year's elections. Join us via TV, radio, mobile and online for all you need to know about the 2016 general elections. We'll take a break on Joy News Prime. We'll be back with more. This is Joy News Prime, and it is your election headquarters. The General Secretary of the governing National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has accused the opposition NPP members and parliamentarians of being behind the microfinance scam to create this affection towards the governing NDC. Speaking to Evans Mensa, Mr. Asiedu Nketia alleged there are known public figures in the NPP involved in the scam that led to hundreds of people in the Bono Ahafo region losing their deposits.
NPP is running away from the DKM issue.
Why?
Because the facts are out there that, DKM has nothing to do with NDC. And empirical evidence seems to suggest that MPP is even happy that that scandal has occurred. And so the people are now opening their eyes and seeing the true picture. You understand? So DKM cannot be an issue for us at all in this election. And so that's why we have continued to talk to the people that, look, this DKM issue that MPP is happy about and jubilating, and at times they weep with crocodile tears that they are sympathizing with you. They may, if you open your eyes closely, you find out that it is likely they have something to do with that DKM thing. Even if they don't have anything to do with DKM by way of they themselves extorting the money, they are happy that somebody has extorted the money, and they are congratulating the people who extorted the money.
But that's just pure political...
It's not pure political thing.
Expediency.
Look, if for instance, do you know that about 3 cases involving this microfinance thing, MPP's conduct seems to suggest that the people who are involved are actually heroes who must be rewarded with, parliamentary seat.
Those who caused the scandal?
Yes. If you are chasing somebody for, extorting money from people, you treat the person as a criminal suspect.
True.
Who need to be handled in such a way that you get your money back. It's not the person you go and propose as your parliamentary candidate.
Are you saying that they have parliamentary candidates who were involved in the scandal?
Yes.
Where?
In Kintampo South, you have their parliamentary candidate there is the head of the God is Love microfinance scheme in the whole of the region. He's the MPP parliamentary candidate now. Nanado has gone there to raise his hand that he's a wonderful person who needs to be voted for. And so if you have such a situation, and MPP is going around the region that they are sympathizing with the customers, where would MPP stand?
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament from Nkranza North, which is one of the hardest hit constituencies by the scam, says the NDC's accusations are neither here nor there. Major Derek Ojo, retired, rather accused the NDC government of doing very little to support devastated victims of the scam.
UK President of the Republic of Ghana went to Brong Ahafo region and assured the people, the Nanom chiefs and people of Brong Ahafo, that sooner or later he was going to refund the amount to the people so that the suffering, the hardship, the death would completely be erased. He knew what was happening to them after their accounts had been frozen. Now, that was not done. His chief of staff came to Nkranza the headquarters of this microfinance company, DKN, God Islam, Yasa Motors. The whole Ghana, Uganda is the headquarters. That's where they started the business from. The chief of staff came here to represent the president and assure the people that within 2 weeks, the monies were going to be paid to the customers. That was somewhere in June, July. That one has not been realized. Nothing has been done. The companies have no assets. Almost all the companies have been taken to court, and the court has collected the assets and sold them for those who took the companies to court. Where are the assets of the companies? They don't have anything. What are you going to liquidate? What are you going to liquidate?
Let's do more. The minority in parliament is accusing government of supervising a food and agriculture sector that has become dependent on imports rather than investing and helping local farmers to mechanize their farms. The group says it is alarming for about 8 major food items to have been imported into the country between 2007 and 2015, posing serious threat to the livelihood of farmers and the economy. Addressing a news conference in Parliament on Tuesday, minority spokesperson on agriculture, Dr. Usei Friakoto, says dwindling budgetary support for the sector and poor policies are to blame for the state of the agriculture sector now.
Farmers are to blame for the shortage and therefore for the imports. I don't think that would be fair at all. If we had evidence that government is increasing the budgetary allocations, the public services, financial resources to agriculture is growing, the private sector in terms of banks are giving credits are going up. So then you could make that argument. Gotcha. But here we have demonstrated well enough this morning, and the evidence is very clear that all these things are going down. So where are the tools for the farmers to do the job?
Dr. Usei Friakoto is also the Member of Parliament for Kwadaso, speaking specifically on the cocoa sector. He says production target will further reduce if government approach is not changed.
The management of the all-important cocoa industry has been nothing short of disaster. The country attained a historical peak production of just over 1 million metric tons of cocoa production in the year 2010-2011. I'm sure you know this landmark year, 2010-2011. We'd never touched 1 million. We touched 1 million and exceeded that slightly. This achievement was a direct result of policies and projects, the mass spraying and the high-tech programs initiated and implemented by the NPP administration starting from 2001 till now. With these twin projects, cocoa production more than doubled in just 2 years, from 341,000 metric tons in 2001-2002, it rose to 737,000 metric tons by 2003-2004, and then on to the 1 million metric tons in 2010-2011. The 2010-2011 peak, which NDC desperately claims to be their own, is something which I cannot understand, because you plant cocoa, it takes 3-4 years for you to harvest. And now you are claiming that somebody has made the effort to bring it to a level which is now reaching a peak, and you claim that because it happens in your time, it is yours. It is something that is very deceitful, to say the least.
The New Patriotic Party will on Sunday launch its manifesto ahead of the December general election, but Minority Leader Osei Mensah Bonsu says an NPP government will reverse the poor management of the agri sector.
Government said to us that they are extremely committed to developing poultry. And yet, for 2013-2014, the government says that they are extremely committed, distributed 8,000 cockerels to 500 farmers. What does it mean? 16 cockerels the family. That is the seriousness of NDC government.
Time for business. Emmanuel Abuajiri Face here. And I've been doing a lot to promote intra-trade in Africa, meaning the sub-region. What's the new strategy now?
Exactly. I mean, the Minister of Trade is actually calling for intra-regional trade, promotion of intra-regional trade, that is trading among Africans.
And what new thing are we doing? I mean, we've been saying that all the time.
It's rather unfortunate that despite the huge resources that we have, we do a lot of trading with other countries outside Africa.
Right.
That's unfortunate. Whereas we can develop trading amongst ourselves.
Right.
Especially that's what all these regional blocks like ECOWAS and AU are meant to do. Right. But unfortunately, we're not getting lagging behind. That's not too good.
Let's see what's happening.
All right, thank you very much. And thanks for joining me on Business. The Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Ecos Pilgabra, has emphasized the need for African economies to take advantage of e-commerce platforms to promote trade amongst member countries. He was one of key speakers at the West African Intertrade Conference held in Accra today.
While 60% of the EU's trade is within EU and 25% of Asia's trade within Asia, the situation in Africa is only between 10 and 12%. The main challenge to regional integration has been in national plans, which look great on paper, but a mirage because of technology, infrastructural, transport, and budgetary constraints. Speaking to Joy Business at the West Africa Intertrade Conference organized by Stanbic Bank, Trade Minister Dr. Ecos Pilgabra said African countries could explore e-commerce as a major avenue for addressing these challenges to enhance economic integration on the continent.
For those who use the eBays, the Alibabas and other such trading platforms, you go there and all the products you want to buy are listed there, the prices are there, the cost of shipment and distribution are also indicated, but there's no real platform like that for Africa. So if you want to buy tea from Kenya, you end up buying that tea from a European supplier. If you want to buy flowers from East Africa, you may end up buying it from Rotterdam. If the East Africans also want to buy from us, they may also have to go to Europe to buy their chocolates. So if we can provide a platform that allows us to see our products more directly, then we can, South Africans can buy more Ghanaian products and we can also buy more Moroccan products. That's what the e-commerce platforms are supposed to help achieve, to reduce transaction costs and to make products more visible to the buyer and to allow suppliers and buyers to meet each other electronically.
The Stanbic Bank West Africa Transregional Conference is to showcase the commercial banking clients and entrepreneurs' economic opportunities in West Africa. Abdul Jalil Hussein is head of commercial banking at Stanbic Bank.
We believe in Africa. Africa is our home, and our belief is that we want to help Africa grow. We want to be part of Africa's success story. We demonstrated that by pulling out of all other emerging markets to focus all our resources on Africa. So in the past, and amongst all governments across Africa, there's a need for us to promote intra-Africa trade. And being part of the Africa story as Standard Bank and Stanbic, we believe that we need to play our part in connecting businesses across.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now to the rest of our stories. And employees of Ghana Gas Company who were dismissed for embarking on what management described as illegal demonstration have 4 months to reapply to be reinstated following a deal reached by the Employment Ministry, Ghana Gas Company and the General Transport and Petroleum Workers Union. The workers in August took to the street to protest against unfavorable working conditions. The workers during the protest called on the management of Ghana Gas to provide them with favorable conditions because of the risk involved in their job. Now, management took a hard line, resulting in the sacking and suspension of some of the workers. Now, the Employment Minister, Haruna Iddrisu, brokered a deal bringing to an end the impasse. Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Gas, Dr. George Sipayanki, read out the agreement.
Mercy with justice, and the need for the workers also to undertake view of good behavior so that this particular action or the action that they undertook and what is happening right now will not happen again. we as management have also come to the conclusion that it's important for us to have a decent dialogue between us and the union. And we see that we believe that we are a very positive action to take to ensure that all confusion and all misunderstanding between us and the local union and the mother union are resolved before they end up in any confusion. We do hereby agree, as I said, to work closely with the mother union and maybe with the local union to address all issues of concern to both the workers and to the company. And following our revision of the sanctions that we imposed on the workers, we agreed as follows. 4 workers were terminated without an option to reapply. Now the 4 workers whose appointment was terminated without an option to apply, now the revision of taking management, following that, 2 of them will reapply with the understanding that will be reinstated after 4 months after good behavior, after the good behavior. Those whose appointment were terminated with the option to reapply have to do so at the expiry of 4 months, not 6 months.
Chairman of the General Transport and Petroleum Workers Union, Bernard Owusu, who represented the workers of Ghana Gas, apologized and promised to abide by the agreement.
Let me position nice well so that I'll hear you. On behalf of my colleagues and National Union, we once again thank all the stakeholders who have made this important day possible. Because as I always say, the kind of union that we are all trying to build in the country is not that kind of litigate and antagonism type. We believe in lobbying, getting the right thing done. I will plead with my CEO at Ghana Gas that whatever has transpired, they are his children. And we believe that even though they've done their best for us, we still believe that we can still do more by bringing back other colleagues that have been affected. That we think that.
Employment and Labour Relations Minister Haruna Iddrisu called on the union to avoid illegal strikes in the future.
Of Ghana Gas, my colleague Minister for Petroleum and the Deputy, and my father Iddrisu, together with Bernard of the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union. I'm particularly happy at the rapprochement emanating from these discussions, and I will accordingly urge the parties, particularly management and the union, to work together to protect that sensitive strategic national asset and the institution of Ghana Gas. Accordingly, I expect that on or before 30th November, the management and the union negotiating with the mother union must conclude and sign onto a collective bargaining agreement which must set up the conditions of work, career development and training, and matters relative to the salary structure. And more importantly, the disciplinary codes, which are so being used for our purpose this afternoon. I also expect that henceforth, management will deal directly with the mother union, and the local union, subject to good counseling and schooling from the mother union, must appreciate when to exercise the right to strike or the right to demonstrate. What I like to caution further is that government will not countenance any conduct of insubordination in the name of the pursuit of labor rights.
Now, most women are emotional and likely to break down in tears upon hearing news or at the sight of the lifeless body of their partners, irrespective of the circumstances of death. The opposite, however, is the case of a 33-year-old widow whose husband committed suicide after attempting to kill her at Asoche near Ejiso in the Ashanti region. Ohiming Teria has been speaking to the widow at her base at the village, and she confesses how glad she is that the husband instead ended up dead. She tells a story in the following report.
For Rose Kenya, the passing of Matthias Edungon, with whom she had been married for over 16 years, is a blessing in disguise. She escaped death when the man fired a gun at her at close range and hit her in the shoulder in an apparent attempt to kill her. It followed misunderstanding between the couple, leading to quarrels and subsequent separation of the couple. In the company of other residents, Rose was on her way to the farm when her husband, described as a sharpshooter, ambushed and attacked her.
In my case, he threatened me many times, but I thought it was a joke until he actually carried it through. If he were alive today, there is no way we could live together any longer.
Not even intervention from the woman's colleagues could dissuade Matthias from his intention on that fateful Wednesday. He fired and hit Rose before disappearing into the bush. Moments later, while the woman was being sent to the hospital, news spread around Matthias had committed suicide. Rose is not moved by her husband's death as the family awaits police to release the body for burial.
But for God's intervention, I'm sure I would have been dead now. I don't feel sad over his death at all. He had always threatened to kill me. I know he would not have committed suicide if he knew I was alive.
Rose says she survived by divine intervention from the man she had known as a good marksman with a gun. The mother of 4, who hails from Paga in the Upper East region, has a lesson to share with her peers who suffer spousal abuse. She says don't just flee from their threats, report them to police.
Well, before we have sports, we will have entertainment first, then sports comes next. And guess who is here? Miss G is here with all the latest from the entertainment world. Hello,
hello, Aisha. How are you doing?
I'm good. Only your neck.
Oh, okay.
Something,
you can trust
something,
me for,
something.
You can trust me for all those nice and exclusive stuff when it comes to entertainment and my look as well.
I know
but Aisha, how did you sleep yesterday?
How did I sleep yesterday? As in position or...
No, you slept sound, you had a good sleep.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I tell you, sound engineer Hammer didn't sleep well.
What's his problem?
I wonder, but we are yet to know. I woke up this morning with a message on my phone and he had screenshots of what sound engineer Hammer had posted on his Facebook wall. Now let's read what he posted on his Facebook wall. And it says that, is Castro's family still waiting? Or now they'll give us the go ahead to give him a befitting memorial? And legend...
Memory has been disrespected
and forgotten
without so much of a sit down because of a technicality.
Okay.
Shaking my head, hashtag don't forget Castro.
Exactly.
Those are touching.
Very touching words. I wonder where Hammer slept. You know, what really happened to Hammer. It's been
That
2 years
and
3 months ever since Castro went missing.
Yes.
Hammer is talking about the technicality that the police had said that until 7 years, we can't pronounce him dead. But my worry is, why this concern at this time? So I picked up a phone and I called Hammer. Here's Hammer speaking to me.
The problem is it's been
3 years, and nobody seems to remember him. I mean, he's not in our rhetoric, he's not in our lives, our daily communications. He's forgotten. And this guy played a major role in our industry. And the technicalities that bind us is what is causing this. And I know the family has the power to veto that, and go ahead and say, okay, we accept his demise and we want to give him a befitting memorial. I just woke up very early and I'm like, hey, you take us through. I mean, like, have we just moved on? We have to immortalize him by doing something about his name, at least.
You think they're playing his songs on radio?
Oh, please.
It's not enough.
Songs, people have moved on. What kind of song? I'm not forcing anybody to, but I'm saying that we have to be able to accept it. Common sense says that he lost his life in an accident on the water. No, he's not hiding anywhere. He's not with no mame water. I mean, Ghana, we are past.
That's how we end the bulletin. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have a great evening.
This is Joy News Prime.